Man, oh man, am I nervous. Man, am I nervous. Had trouble sleeping last night and all of that. So tomorrow, even though I'm recording this ahead of time, so tomorrow, but you probably have already heard of it by now, or at least we've told other people. You might not have heard yourself, but tomorrow we are announcing our Series A fundraise. It's a pretty cool event. You can read about it. Arthur Ventures led the round with Coinbase Ventures and Digital Currency Group and Davenport and Polymath and CoVenture Crypto and CityBlock Capital and others participating. But we're announcing that tomorrow, but I'm going to publish this the day after we announce. So you hopefully heard about it yesterday. But yeah, I'm just nervous about announcing this. And it's really due to, I think, past lessons learned, past experiences, but all this announcement makes me nervous. So in a past life, in my last company, I raised $38 million in venture capital. And I think when you raise money, especially when you raise a lot of money, which we didn't here, but I think the public perception of what is happening can become very much out of sync with what's really happening, and incentives can get really aligned, or really misaligned rather. So if you look at the cryptocurrency space, there's a lot of large figures attached to projects with really huge brand names that haven't shipped much of anything and aren't providing much of value to the space. You know, we've seen recently Consensus lay off a bunch of people. We've seen Basis return money, funds, when they raise over 100 million, like close to 100 million, if not more, to investors, or at least they're going to. I think there's going to be a lot more of these projects coming. But these projects, like Basis, for example, has a gorgeous website and a huge, or they did have a PR machine, hired a bunch of people. And so it's really easy to believe the marketing hype about a company or a team or a project. And it's really easy for people at those institutions to start believing the public hype about what they're doing instead of listening to the market and actually having, head to the ground, around the pulse of the value that's being created. So I think there was a part of me that considered not even announcing that we had done a fundraise. Like we didn't need to file paperwork with the SEC, saying how much, or we didn't need to publicly disclose how much we had raised or who we had raised funds from. And we just didn't need to do that. So why are we doing this? I think for a few reasons. One, we want our customers to know that we're here to stay, that there are, luminaries in the space, or people with influence who believe in us and what we're doing. I think that lends credibility to our project. I think it's important for people to know that we're here, that we exist, that we're serious and all of that. So that's part of the reason why we're doing it. I'm also glad that this is just kind of a good excuse to develop relationships with journalists and the media and the press, and to kind of come out for the very first time to the space in a way. I don't know if it's in a big way, but to come out to the space. So that's part of the reason why we're doing it. I think there are definitely upsides to this. The downsides, of course, are that it's possible to build a huge brand in the cryptocurrency space without delivering much value at all, and to have to have a team that's speaking at conferences, that's putting out podcasts, that is coming across as being hugely influential, and just not having any profit or any sustainable value that comes with that. all of this said, I think the reason why we did get funded in a bear market is that we have an experienced team. We have a product that's live and that is, that customers are buying. And, we're having pretty strong month-over-month growth. So, I think, I would hope that the hype is real, but, and I believe that it is, but my preference is to have almost all of the hype driven by customers and customer logos and customer announcements and customer word of mouth, and to not have any come from, things that aren't related to that, right? Traditional brand building activities. I think that's kind of a pipe dream. It's probably not real, but that is part of the trepidation. I remember at my last company announcing a large fundraise, and I believe we might have passed out champagne and kind of toasted to what had happened. And I think my philosophy now is to not actually celebrate this as a success. Raising money is not a success. It's not really something to celebrate. It's certainly something to announce, but it's not an accomplishment in and of itself. Getting a new customer, even if it's a small customer, that's something to celebrate. That's something to raise a toast, to toast to. Getting an amazing testimonial, getting a unsolicited, organic review of your product where someone's raving about the product that you're delivering, that's something to celebrate. Hiring an awesome new employee, that's something to celebrate. Raising funding, yeah, there's some great stuff there, but the money in the bank itself is not something. Really, it's might be strategically important to the company, but it's not something to celebrate like an actual win. I do think there are aspects of this to celebrate. For example, having really strong partners that are now on our side of the table around making this happen, that's definitely something to celebrate. Having Patrick Meenan, our board member from Arthur Ventures, having him on our board, that's definitely something to celebrate. But the event itself, sort of in a general sense, there's nothing to celebrate here. I think it's just something to acknowledge, and then move on from, get our heads down back to building a product, listening to customers, serving the industry. That's where it's at. All right. So I got that off my chest. I think it's worth saying. I think it's worth the team. I think our team listens to my audio journal. I think that's something for the team to hear. All right. Take care. Bye.